Now we fast forward to January 20th, 2021, when Donald Trump makes a shocking decision in his last day in office.
And new this morning, ahead of leaving the White House, President Trump has issued his final list of presidential pardons and commutations. Other notable names on the list include rappers Lil Wayne and Kodak Black.
Kodak makes his shocking return home, and now the big question is, does he come through with his promises to Psycho? And the answer is yes, and even more. Not only does he sign Psycho Bob to Sniper Gang, but he also signs his friends Wiz the Wizard and Wham Spin a Bin. Now most of us watching this are like, wow, this seems like a pretty cool thing to do. But in the streets of Broward, this was not a good decision. Well, actually it wasn't a bad decision, but what it did was involve Kodak in a war that he had nothing to do with. Unfortunately, the streets of Broward took this as Kodak choosing his side of the war, like, oh, you're with them now? But in reality, it probably wasn't that. He probably was just genuinely helping rappers who helped him out when he was in prison. That was it. But unfortunately, the streets would not see it this way, as this would only amplify the beef even more. And what made it even worse was pure jealousy, because Psycho Bob, Wham, and Wiz, their careers would instantly go up. On top of this, Kodak would release a song called Nightmares as he's walking through Psycho Bob's hood with a mask on. So obviously, with Psycho's hood being known as the Nightmares, the Liberia rivals saw this and were like, oh, you're naming songs after their hood and then walking through their hood in the music video? Sounds like you're taunting and you're definitely choosing a side. So all intentions aside, this is now how it was. Liberia versus Zone 10, the Nightmares, and Sniper Gang. So now with all the elevated careers and fame, let's focus back on the beef. After Liberia made the bold decision to target Psycho Bob's mom, the entire MM collective were pissed. Pissed enough to seek revenge in the worst way possible. Now we introduce you to HMT Trey's mom, a respected woman named Misty Hopkins. Now despite her son being knee-deep in the street life, Misty herself has nothing to do with this. Instead, she's actually an entrepreneur who owns a laser removal and waxing company in Miami Gardens. But sadly, because of her son's shenanigans in the streets, well, you'll see. March 29th, 2021. It's an early Monday afternoon and Misty Hopkins is opening her shop for the day. Her employees haven't arrived yet, so it's just her opening up her shop and getting everything together. Alone tidying up the shop while on FaceTime with her best friend. Then as she's sweeping, a random man quietly walks in her store. This would be a man named James Hardwick, who you can actually see in Wiz the Wizard's music video just weeks prior. Well, James walks right up to Misty as she looks up and gets startled.
Oh, you scared me. Who are you and what are you here for?
And without responding or making a sound, James Hardwick simply whips out and makes a tragic decision. Her friend on the phone hears the boom and instantly she calls 911 for help. So 10 minutes later, police arrive, but sadly, it's far too late.
Here, a deadly shooting in Miami Gardens. At least one person killed here, and no word on any arrests. Let's get right out to Local 10's Syra Onwer.
She's live on the scene with an update. Syra.
So right now I can tell you it's a woman who's the victim of this shooting that happened here at the Clearview Center in Miami Gardens. You can see there are a number of businesses within this complex. So right now it's unclear if this woman was working or visiting. A woman collapses in grief in front of officers after a shooting around 12:30 at the Clearview Center in Miami Gardens.
This was the ultimate evil act, as Misty Hopkins was a good woman who had nothing to do with the streets. The community was absolutely devastated, but none more than her son HMT Trey. To lose your innocent mom to the rivals, I can't even imagine the feeling. But also given that Liberia Sig had targeted Psycho Bob's mom, it's almost like HMT Trey should have known this could happen. It's like you guys targeted his mom and now he goes and gets revenge. As horrible and unforgivable as it is, you guys did start this.